When I first started making movies, my biggest problem is that my images looked too clean and they didn't really have this depth to them. And I wondered, what is that depth? And what I learned is it's bloom, halation, film emulation, film grain, all of these things that give some of our favorite movies and my favorite movies their grit, their realism, their character. And I went on this task of looking for, okay, what is the right software to complete my vision? And I didn't really know what that was. That is until I stumbled upon Dehancer. So today I have Dehancer pulled up on Final Cut Pro, and I have 3 images from my unreleased short film, which is an action adventure short film like Indiana Jones. And I went on the task of thinking, how can I recreate Indiana Jones? So on Dehancer, and this is, you can follow along as well at home, you know, as they say, in the tutorials, as they say. Grab Dehancer, throw it on my clip here. So Raiders of the Lost Ark was shot on 35mm Kodak stock. So the closest one, after doing some research online, is Kodak Pro Image 100. Here we go. And now we're already starting to get more of a Raiders look. Now, fun little fact, when you're color grading, if you're in Final Cut, you can follow along with this as well. If you go to Window, Workspaces, Color, you're going to see this. This is called your histogram. You don't want, these are your bright points of the image that actually line up with the image. So you can actually see this is our lead actor running through here. Fun fact, that's actually my dad. Shout out. And inside Dehancer, you actually have a way to raise the exposure. And I found raising the exposure in here to get kind of what brightness level I want. Also down in this area, the bottom area by 0, that is your blacks, your darkest images. So what you want your shadows. Something about Indiana Jones is there's a lot of contrast. So I want a lot of contrast in that. Now you're like, Luke, no, what are you doing? You don't want anything really in the blacks because that means they're being crushed. You don't want to do that, but you can lower your contrast. And already we're starting to see more shape to this character. We have a light off to the side right here, and that's pretty fun. Don't know why it's fun, but it's there. I don't touch Film Developer or Film Compression when I use Dehancer. I've been using it for about 6 months now, and it's been really, really nice to just have this to color grade. Going with I like glossy paper a lot. Doing glossy gives it more of a vibrant finish, so I like going with that. Color density, so something about a lot of films is they always had dense color. So moving your color density up is important, but that doesn't mean you have a lot of saturation. That just means you have dense color. So if we have this up, it's just going to be a little more orange. Now what I am trying to do is create that contrast of the orangish skin to the green grass, and having that contrast of colors is really important for me in this look. Remember, this is your look. No one else can really tell you what this look is. It's yours. Make it. This is a subjective thing, somewhat subjective thing. Okay, film grain. I'm thinking I want this to be, now my ISO is 800, and I'm not really knowledgeable on how actual film works that well. I've learned a little bit, but I don't know. Custom, you have all these features to know how to work with it, but what I actually have been enjoying using recently is if I know what these prints, I just look at, so 35, looks like we have a good amount of grain everywhere, and I like grain, but I'm going to look at 65, and you know what? To be honest, I'm not even seeing, oh wow, I was in halation. That's why, because I'm an idiot. Okay, sorry about that idiot moment. So yeah, 35 just lowers, you basically can't even really see this grain anymore. The thing is, this isn't my final color grade. Obviously, I'm going to go back and make this better and better, but this is my starting grade. I like to go through and get the look first and then work with that. Bloom is really important. Bloom really makes, just gives this little softness. Now in every image it's going to be different too. So I don't film damage. I don't like film breathing. I do like film damage though, because that gives you a little bit of these little specks that will pop up. Now I don't even necessarily, I'm gonna see if I can slowly click through to see if I can see. All right, overscan, I'm not quite sure what that is and I don't use that. I also don't like to vignette my lenses at all. You can't go wrong with the histogram, bringing your brights up as high as they go, messing with your contrast. So just kind of giving things more overall contrast to your image to make it more mysterious. And that's the whole thing about this film, is making it mysterious. So making your color grade go along with what you're working with. And then also, because we did not shoot these on anamorphic lenses, this is how I'm getting my anamorphic lens, or when I export it, I'm gonna export it in an anamorphic widescreen format. But just to get the idea, I like to throw on letterbox just so I can see what my framing's gonna look like. Looks like it was out of focus for a little bit, but if we look at that, the colors are great. It is a little hard to see his face, but that's what we're going for, is that mysterious look. And I'm happy with that. I think the grain is there. It's enough. It's not too much in your face. And what I like to do is I like to just grab that and throw that onto my next image. And then from there, I play with, do the same things. I look at my histogram, bring the brights bright. Now, what I'm immediately seeing is I'm already initially like doing most of the labor on that first clip, on that first Dehancer tab on the first clip, really gives me a big, now my temperature, if you shoot it right the first time, you're not going to need to do a lot of this stuff. I shot it how I want it to look. Fun fact, I exposed for the back. How you should expose for being outside is that you expose for the background, then you bring your lights in. So we brought in a big light, a couple big lights to light his face and light some people in the other scene that I'm not going to be telling you about. And then if we look at all these things, now the only thing I'm considering is doing more film grain. But on it, it's like I might be, when I refine this, I might be going custom because, yeah, that's vibrant, that's nice, it's cinematic. That's what we're going for. At the end of the day, it's about being cinematic, right? Dehancer just makes it so easy to color grade. It simplifies the process to just be moving sliders back and forth, to have reference with millimeter, film millimeter, to know like, okay, I can look up something I like and follow through on that. So you see what Bloom's doing there? It's just softening the image. Now you can use like a Pro Mist filter or a diffuser to do this, and I have one of those, but you're baking it into the image. I shoot an S-Log on my FX3 because it's data at the end of the day. You want to make the decision on the edit day with some things. Exposure you want to nail on the day. With all these other things, you can kind of leave them up for interpretation. All right, with our last clip, just like last time, we're gonna drag Dehancer in. Wow. So that is too bright, probably because of the exposure. Let me just fit it so nothing's clipping. I like to look at the actor's face for this part. Cool. Jump into here, mess with my highlights to put those up. Maybe a little bit of saturation. I'll refine that later. I'm going to grab my letterbox, and at this point, once you already have the grade, it makes it so easy so let's watch this through. You guys are getting a great teaser right now for the movie. You guys are so, a lot of people that aren't seeing this in the Sukavision fan base are going to be sad. There's still too much. It's like there's not that much film damage. At the end of the day, I want the grain, I want the grit, but I don't want the damage. I want it to still look polished. I don't want it to look like, even though that film damage does give life, I think that's something I'm going to have to consider whether or not how much of that I use. That could even be, yes, much better. I like that much better. And obviously when you're in Final Cut, it's nice to be able to see how the grain looks so nice here. On our supporting actor back there. I'm really happy with this. Dehancer is great. I love using Dehancer. So this video is actually sponsored by Dehancer. And if you go down, you can use code LR, which I guess you don't need to copy because it's just a capital L and a capital R. Dehancer and I collabed to get this video, to make it happen. And I couldn't have made my short film without them, or my last film. I could have had a color grade, but it wouldn't have had, like I talked about, that grit, that real feeling. And this is the best bang for your money. It's a little expensive, but it's worth it. You have so many features. It unlocks your color grading, your creativity, and your workflow to get what you want. And it gives you the top of the, it's a top of the game film emulation, and it does it really well. I'm really happy with it. So use code LR for 10% off. Yes, 10% off. You'll support this channel when you use it. So if you do get Dehancer, you'll be supporting me by using code LR, but also getting a discount. So that's good. That's a win for all of us. All of us can win with that. There's some other links below about Dehancer too, about some other things that you can explore if you're more interested in film emulation. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of me, make sure to subscribe and like this video. You can follow me in my filmmaking journey every week, every step I take. You can actually see the behind the scenes of this film that we filmed. You can see the steps I took every single week to becoming a filmmaker from day one until now. And my goal to go to Hollywood and make some awesome movies. And Dehancer is helping me do that without having to spend millions of dollars on actual film cameras. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day. And thank you, Dehancer, for code LR.